Imagine a special operations team needs to hit a target hundreds of miles from friendly territory. The route crosses mountains. Enemy air defenses are nearby. The mission happens at night. And there may be nowhere to land and refuel. For most helicopters, range becomes the problem. But one American helicopter was specifically built for missions like this. It can fly low through darkness, carry special operations forces deep into hostile territory, refuel without landing, and keep going. This is the MH-47G Chinook, America's long-range raider. At first glance, the MH-47G is unmistakably a Chinook. Two enormous rotors, a long cargo cabin, a rear loading ramp, and a design whose origins stretch back more than half a century. But the M in MH-47 tells you this aircraft has a very different job. This is the Special Operations version of the Chinook, operated by the U.S. Army's elite 161st Special Operations Aviation Regiment, the Night Stalkers. Its mission isn't simply moving soldiers from one base to another. The MH-47G is designed to infiltrate and extract special operations forces, conduct air assaults, resupply isolated units, move heavy equipment, and perform missions in hostile environments. And it is particularly valuable when the target is far away. Helicopters have a fundamental disadvantage during deep operations: fuel. A fixed-wing aircraft can travel enormous distances relatively efficiently. A helicopter carrying troops, equipment, and weapons burns through fuel much faster. That creates a dangerous equation. The farther special operators penetrate into hostile territory, the more fuel they need to get home. The MH-47 was engineered around that problem. It carries additional fuel compared with conventional configurations, but its defining feature is impossible to miss. Look at the front of the helicopter. That long probe extending from the nose allows the MH-47G to receive fuel in flight. And that changes everything. Working with special operations tanker aircraft such as the MC-130, the Chinook can rendezvous in flight and connect its refueling probe to a trailing hose and drogue. Fuel begins flowing while both aircraft remain airborne. That means a mission doesn't necessarily end when the helicopter reaches the limits of the fuel it carried at takeoff. Refuel, continue. Refuel again if the mission requires it. This gives special operations planners something extremely valuable: operational reach. A target that would otherwise require a nearby airfield or forward refueling site can potentially be approached from much farther away. And distance can create another weapon: surprise. Range, however, means very little if the helicopter cannot survive the journey. The MH-47G is designed to operate at low altitude, at night, and in poor visibility. Its specialized navigation and sensor systems help crews navigate difficult terrain with extraordinary precision. Forward-looking infrared gives pilots another way to see the environment when normal vision isn't enough. The aircraft also incorporates radar and infrared warning and defensive systems, but technology is only part of the equation. The Night Stalkers specialize in exactly these missions: flying low, flying fast, using terrain and darkness, and delivering special operations forces where an adversary may least expect them. This isn't transportation in the conventional sense. The helicopter itself becomes part of the raid. But why build America's long-range special operations helicopter around something as large as the Chinook? Because size provides another crucial advantage: payload. Special operations missions don't always involve a handful of commandos carrying rifles. Teams may require vehicles, ammunition, communications equipment, fuel, and other heavy equipment. And sometimes the mission isn't about inserting troops at all, it is about recovering people or equipment. The Chinook's enormous cabin and rear ramp provide options smaller helicopters simply cannot match. Equipment can be carried internally. Heavy loads can be suspended beneath the aircraft. Personnel can deploy rapidly from the rear. That combination of range and payload makes the MH-47G unusual. It isn't simply a transport helicopter. It is a heavy assault platform capable of moving a substantial combat force over long distances. Now imagine the complete mission. An MH-47G launches after sunset. It drops toward low altitude. The crew navigates through terrain to reduce exposure. Hundreds of miles may separate the helicopter from its objective. Fuel begins running down. A tanker appears in the darkness. The Chinook moves behind it. The refueling probe connects. Minutes later, the helicopter separates with enough fuel to continue deeper into the mission. Then comes the objective. Special operators exit. The helicopter disappears. And when the assault force needs extraction, the MH-47G returns. That ability to insert, support, and recover forces across long distances is why the aircraft remains so important to American special operations. And the MH-47G isn't standing still. The Special Operations Chinook has been moving into its Block II era. The broader Chinook Block II architecture introduces structural, drivetrain, and fuel system improvements intended to increase performance and provide room for future upgrades. U.S. SOCOM is also pursuing additional improvements specifically relevant to the MH-47G. These include advanced flight controls designed to reduce pilot workload during demanding phases of flight, along with improved communications and future drivetrain and rotor system improvements. That matters because the Night Stalkers aren't preparing this helicopter for yesterday's battlefield. They're preparing it for the next one. And future missions could make long-range helicopter operations even more important and more dangerous. Potential battlefields in Europe and especially the Indo-Pacific involve enormous distances. Large air bases may be monitored or attacked. Air defenses can make predictable routes extremely dangerous. Special operations forces may have to operate from dispersed locations and penetrate contested territory without relying on conventional infrastructure. The MH-47G offers commanders another option: launch from farther away, fly at low altitude, refuel in the air, deliver a substantial force, and leave before the enemy can react. The Chinook has been flying for generations, but the MH-47G represents something very different from the cargo helicopter most people recognize. It combines the Chinook's payload with specialized sensors, defensive systems, precision navigation, and one capability that fundamentally changes the mission: aerial refueling. The result is a helicopter designed to carry America's special operations forces deep into places ordinary helicopters may struggle to reach. At night, at low altitude, and potentially hundreds of miles from friendly forces. That's why the MH-47G isn't just another Chinook. It's America's long-range raider. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to Strike Vector for more military aviation and defense analysis.